In the previous part, we understood that the Quran has presented its claim to miracle in the field of creating a great transformation in people's hearts. We agreed to examine what the Quran means by this transformation that it creates in the human heart and about which it claims that it has no rival. When we study the Quran with this purpose and place its verses side by side, we notice an even more interesting point. As we explained before, by examining the subject of guidance and mercy, we become familiar with an extensive network of verses throughout the Quran that relate to guidance and mercy, a network that covers almost the entire Quran. Now, with further examination of these verses, we notice that this book places a special focus and strong emphasis on the heart. The Quran has repeatedly spoken about the heart and has used multiple expressions concerning the diseases of the heart. It describes this disease in various ways, such as hardness of heart, deviation of heart, rust upon the heart, blindness of the heart, and many other expressions, each of which is mentioned repeatedly in the Quran. This shows that the Quran wants to make us aware of a dangerous disease in the human heart and claims that it can cure this disease. Therefore, we must recognize this disease and understand what is meant by it. When we examine the verses more closely, we see that the Quran has introduced this disease and named it heedlessness, Ghaflah. The Quran says that if a person is heedless, their heart is sick, and this disease is extremely dangerous. This disease prevents us from seeing the important realities of existence and causes us to remain heedless of them. The more important point is that the Quran says this disease leads humans to remain forever trapped in torment, hardship, and countless sufferings. In addition to warning about this disease, the Quran has repeatedly spoken about its treatment. The Quran says that the cure for the disease of heedlessness is remembrance, Dhikr. It says that a heart that is sound is always, in every state and place, in remembrance of God, never forgets God, and always perceives God's presence and His influence in every part of existence. But one who cannot perceive this reality and does not have this awareness is afflicted with that disease. The Quran has spoken about remembrance more than 270 times. This shows the central place of this subject in the book, to the extent that it declares its own aim of guidance and mercy to mean leading human beings to the state and position of remembrance. More interestingly, the Quran introduces itself as remembrance more than 60 times and says this book is remembrance. For example, it says, "This book is a remembrance for all peoples," and it repeats this point many times. So the book that had introduced itself as a book of mercy, now by introducing itself as a book of remembrance, makes us understand that reaching God's special mercy is possible through remembrance and through curing the disease of heedlessness. In this way, we realize that the Quran claims that it can bring us to the meaning and purpose of life and provide the best answer to life's most important question, to tell us why we are alive and why we live. And in addition, it claims it can actualize this purpose within our very being.